Yo, what's up everybody? We are back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about a Resto Druid guide for raiding. We're going to go over talents, conduits, and stat prioritization. First, let's start off with abundance. For each rejuvenation you have active, regrowth's cost is reduced by 6% and critical hit chance is increased by 6%. This is going to be really good for saving mana and hit that regrowth when you need it to hit really hard to save someone's life. Next talent, we're going to go with renewal. This is going to save your life. It instantly heals you for 30% of your maximum health. It's instant, 1.5 minute cooldown. This is going to save your life. You won't have to worry about healing yourself as much. You just pop this immediately and then go back to healing other players that need it. Next, we're going to take Guardian Affinity. This is going to reduce the damage you take by 6% and give you more survivability during big AoE damage. Next, we're going to take Mighty Bash. This is going to help stun a ad that's chasing you down, or say ad is chasing a player. Pop that Mighty Bash on him real quick if you're right next to him and walk away. Usable in all forms. Next, these talents are going to be huge. Your 40, 45, and 50 talent. These are very important. This is what I recommend taking. For our 40 talent, we're going to take Incarnation, Tree of Life. Now, shapeshift into a tree, increasing your healing done by 15%, increasing your armor by 120%, granting you protection from polymorph effects, and the functionality of rejuvenation, wild growth, regrowth, and entangling root is enhanced. This lasts 30 seconds, and you may shapeshift in and out of this form during this duration. What this is going to do is increase your healing drastically, give you a little bit more survivability when you're popping it. It's going to give you a big cooldown for when huge damage is coming out. Now, the change for rejuve is going to increase the healing of your rejuve by 50%, and the mana cost is going to be reduced by 30%. When you're spamming those rejuves out there, it's just going to cost a lot less mana, and they're going to heal for a lot more. Now, what this is going to do for your regrowth, it's going to make it instant. This is a big deal. To instantly cast regrowth on multiple people, just like boom, 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 instantly casting regrowth, saving everyone. That's fantastic. Another big thing about this is it's going to change wild growth. Wild growth is now going to affect 2 additional targets while you're in the Tree of Life form. This is just going to get more wild growth heals out there, and it just increase your AoE effectiveness of your heals. This is fantastic. It's going to increase your healing by an extra 15% on all those. It's great. You can cast this, I think 2 to 3 times depending on your cooldowns whenever you pop the Tree of Life form, because it has a 10-second cooldown, so I believe it's 2 to 3 times if you time it properly. Next, for our level 45 talent, we're going to take Spring Blossoms. Now, each target healed by your efflorescence is healed for an additional 332 over 6 seconds. Now, this is just going to apply another hot, increasing your mastery on that target, making your efflorescence more mana worthy is what I like to call it. It's just going to get more hots out, especially when you pair it with your level 50 talent. It's just going to make everything go faster. This is just going to be really good for you. Next, on your level 50 talent, we're going to take Flourish. Do not take Germination. If you take Germination in a raid, you're going to be spending too much time putting 2 rejuves on people, and it's just going to waste your mana, waste your time. You're not going to get as much heals out, and Flourish is absolutely fantastic for getting those high AoE heals off whenever you have multiple wild growths out, multiple rejuves out. You can Flourish, increase the duration of all of them and the heals of all of them, and then you'll be able to cast more hots on everyone else that doesn't have a hot on them. Just to be sure, what Flourish does, it extends the duration of all overtime effects on friendly targets within 60 yards by 8 seconds, and increases the rate of your heal overtime effects by 100%. They take 100% faster for 8 seconds. That is fantastic. This is another huge cooldown that we need to use when huge damage is coming out. It's a 1.5 minute cooldown, so it's not that long of a cooldown. That's actually really good. You can use it many times during the fight. This is going to pair up about every other time you pop Tree of Life. I also want to point out, I do not recommend using these at the same time all the time. If you pop them at the same time, you're using 2 huge healing cooldowns at the same time, so you're going to be down 2 huge healing cooldowns for the next damage that's going to come out. Your Tranquility is going to be your next huge cooldown. Every everyone knows what Tranquility does, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell you real quick. Heals all allies within 40 yards for 4,542 over 7 seconds. Each heal heals the target for another 105 over 8 seconds stacking. Healing is increased by 100% when you're not in a raid, but we're in a raid, so that doesn't affect. Now this is gonna be a huge cooldown for us. It's just gonna do massive AoE healing as a 3-minute cooldown. Now I've also thought about taking Inner Peace to reduce the cooldown by 60 seconds, but I also thought that it might not actually be that good because it'll take the mana buff, basically is what I like to call it, that you get from Spring Blossoms on your level 45 talent. It also make you less mobile, so having to cast Tranquility more often will make you stationary more often, allowing you to take more AoE damage, and we don't want that. We want to be able to be super mobile, we want to get shit done, we don't want to stand and stuff, right? So this is going to help us out. These are all your huge cooldowns to use during big AoE moments. Now that we talked about talents and huge cooldowns for big AoE moments, let's go into Conduits. Conduits, this is actually really important for raids, in my opinion, especially if we're going to take Tree Alive and Flourish to increase all of our heals. We have another lifesaver for our tree down the side here. We're going to take Well-Honed Instincts on our defense slot. So when you fall below 40% health, you cast Frenzied Regeneration up to once every so often, which mine is at 69 seconds, I believe. And this is just going to keep us up, especially during those big AoE moments. This is just going to keep us healed. Next, down our potency slot. Now this is really important. We're going to take Unstoppable Growth. Now Wild Growth's healing falls off 26% less over time. This is just going to make our Wild Growth heal more as the time runs out on it. This is going to be huge for Flourish because it's going to bump that duration up of Wild Growth higher to make it do more healing. This is going to be huge as well because we're going to be applying Wild Growth to 2 additional targets with Tree of Life. This is just going to get more AoE heals out. This is what we want. Raid healing is all about AoE heals. We want everyone to stay alive. Next, down the next tree here, we're going to take Empowered Chrysalis. Now 10% of overhealing received or done remains as a shield on the target up to 10% of the caster's health lasting 5 seconds. Now this is just going to make sure that all your overhealing is not getting wasted and applying shields to raid members just to keep them alive. Give that extra cushion for the push-in. These are the conduits you want to take. This is the soulbind tree that you want to go down. Now let's talk about stat priority. I like to prioritize crit, haste, mastery, then verse. These are what I recommend taking. Like, this is all my preference, by the way. This is my opinion of what I think works best. If you take all this, you should be doing about 1 to 2k more healing than everyone else. As you can see, on every single fight that I do, I heal way more than everyone, and everyone's just like, how are you doing it? You have 40% uptime on Rejuve, and it's just massive heals out. Flourish, Tree of Life, Tranquility, those are huge cooldowns, doing massive heals. You're gonna be pulling 5k, 6k heals per fight. This is my guide for raiding. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions or concerns, please let me know in the comments below. I really appreciate you guys' support. I really appreciate you guys. Have a good night, day. You guys are awesome. Peace out. And as always, stay in the heels.